Hey everyone, today I'm doing some work on this 3-jaw chuck that I recently purchased. What I want to do today is to make a set of soft jaws to be used with this chuck. And before we jump right into the machining on those soft jaws, I want to talk a little bit about what soft jaws are and why you might want some. So these jaws that came with the chuck are hardened. And that's really useful because it makes them more durable. But you could imagine a situation where maybe you have a part that's a little bit delicate. When you try to squeeze this part with these 3 hardened jaws, there are a couple of undesirable things that might happen. The first issue is that because this part is so thin, as I crank down on the jaws, I'm actually causing the part to deform. So as I tighten the jaws this way, the part is pooching outward in these directions. So if I machine a circle onto this part and I unclamp it, I'm going to end up with a shape that has lobes, and typically that's not what you want. So why is that happening? Well, I have these 3 small contact patches on the 3 jaws. And if I could make those contact patches bigger so that I was grabbing more of a complete circle around this part, it wouldn't deform. So that's one downside of these jaws. They just don't cover as much area. The other issue is that because these jaws are hard and my part might be soft, the jaws might leave marks on my part that I don't want. So for those reasons, we might want a set of jaws that are soft that we can attach to the chuck and then machine out a circle that is the perfect negative of whatever I'm trying to hold. That's going to give the jaws a really good grip and make sure that they don't leave marks on the outside of the part. I've removed the jaws from the chuck so that we can get a better look at one of them. You can see that the jaws have 2 pieces. The upper part is the part that does the work holding, and the bottom part engages with the scroll and moves the jaw. And they're connected with these ground slots. And the ground slots are what we're going to be using to mount the aluminum soft jaw. I'm going to start off with some layout. This is an older Brown and Sharp height gauge that I restored, and the reason that I'm doing this layout is mostly to sanity check the work that I'll be doing on the DRO. So I'm not going to worry so much about doing all my scribe lines off of one particular reference face on this block. It's square enough. These are just guidelines. I have quite a bit of material to remove, so rather than trying to mill that all down, what I'm going to do is take the bulk of it off on the bandsaw. I need to refine these 2 rough sawn faces so that they form a 120-degree angle that's centered on this part. I have 3 of these jaws to do, and I wanted this angle to come out pretty consistently across all 3 of those jaws so that they'll look even and meet nicely in the center of the chuck. So I was thinking about how to fixture this so that that angle comes out relatively consistently. The first thing that I considered doing was using a digital angle gauge to measure on the side of the part how I have it oriented in the vise. But that's a lot of hassle, and it seemed like a good way to accumulate error across 6 different cuts that I was going to need to make. So the solution that I settled on instead was to make a disposable parallel out of aluminum and then mill a right angle into it that has the correct orientation. When I put that parallel into the vise, I can just drop my block in and clamp it, and then as long as I use this parallel for all 6 cuts across the 3 different jaws, I can get a pretty consistent angle on the jaws. Obviously, this is not the most precise way to do this. I think ideally you would use a sine bar and gauge blocks, but I don't have those tools just yet, and this was a relatively fast way to improvise and work quickly through these 3 different jaws. I've cleaned up the mill, flipped the part over, and indicated it. So what we need to do next is to drill the through hole for the M10 cap screw, and then we're going to be counterboring next. Alright, there we go. We've gotten to the aluminum birdhouse phase of the project. So the last thing that we need to do is to flip this part on its back and cut in the set of 3 slots that we need in order to mount this jaw on the lower part of the 2-piece jaw. $252 thousandths, so we have 48 to take off. I've finished cutting the first slot, so before I move on to the other features, I want to deburr this and then perform a quick test fit with the lower piece of the jaw just to make sure that we're all done here. Yeah, that feels good. All of the critical slots are milled in now, so the last operation I need to do in this setup is to mill down these 4 areas by 1/8 of an inch. I've completed all of the milling on this part, so before I take it out of the vise, I'm going to deburr it, and then we'll do a final test fit. So that fits really well. Quite happy with that. Doesn't shake. Everything's touching nicely. So yeah, I'm going to declare that a success. I've finished cleaning these parts in the ultrasonic cleaner, so it's time to try fitting all 3 of them to the chuck for the first time. I'm really pleased with how these 3 jaws fit together. One thing that I don't like at this point is that it has these hard corners. So the next thing that I'm going to do is to put this chuck on the lathe as is, and we're just going to turn the corners down. I'm really pleased with how these aluminum soft jaws came out. I think they're going to add a lot of new work holding options on this machine. In the previous video where I was making the espresso tamper, I was wishing that I had this type of work holding on the lathe. So I think this is going to be really helpful moving forward. In general, I feel like work holding projects in the shop take some time, but they really improve your quality of life and are a nice opportunity to learn some new skills. And that was definitely true on this project. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.